I don't know if all these things that are going on in the world are making you question things, making you think about the wider perspective of life, perhaps thinking about God. I think a lot of people are thinking about God. They may not put that name to him, but I think they're beginning to wonder, well, what is this all about that has affected the whole world? When do such things normally affect the whole world? Well, we look back and we think about 2 massive great world wars. That affected the whole world. This coronavirus has affected the whole world, pretty much without exception. Sometimes worse in some places than others, but it does affect the whole world. So I wonder what questions you might have. I know that when I first became a Christian, then I had all kinds of questions. They weren't necessarily questions of doubt. I knew that God was with me. But they were more to do with questions of, well, how can he be everywhere and with everyone? In the last 2 videos, we thought about both the ascension of Jesus and we thought about the promised gift of the Holy Spirit, which every Christian receives, the Holy Spirit of God into our lives. You see, when Jesus was present on earth for 33 short years, he did some amazing and wonderful and important things. But he was only in one place at one time, and that place was Israel, as we know it today, Jerusalem, the Galilee, all around there. And it was in a specific time, in the 1st century. But he said that he had to ascend to go to be with his Father, so that he could be everywhere by his Spirit. And so that kind of question for me got answered fairly early on. I began to realise that actually God sent his Holy Spirit to mediate the presence of God. He himself, the Holy Spirit, is God. He is everywhere. He is Spirit. But he also mediated the presence of Jesus in my life, because God is with me by his Spirit. Jesus is with me by his Spirit. And that's the wonderful truth. So I don't know if that's a question that you have. How can God be everywhere? Well, that's the answer that I understand from the Bible to be true, that God is everywhere by his Spirit. Jesus is everywhere by his Spirit. He is in me by his Spirit. And that brings me great comfort, because I know that wherever I go and whatever's happening in my life, God is with me. And that gives me great joy, great hope. And it is a great promise that has been fulfilled for us. So if you have got questions about what's happening in this world, perhaps a few fears along the way, and you would like to know the God whose perfect love casts out all fear, then maybe you need to have just a time of asking some of those questions. God, if you're here, please come and be with me. Be present in my life. And he will. I leave these thoughts with you. God is Spirit, but he promises to be with us everywhere through the precious person of Jesus Christ. Not out there, but in here, in my heart. And he wants to be there for you too. God bless you.